Hey, this is Collegetalktv, and today I'll be talking about reading the Bible made me an atheist. Alright, now, if you're a Christian, you might as well not even watch this video because I don't want to hurt no one's feelings. But honestly, most people who are, Christian or whatever, or have any religion in general, they usually don't read their holy book. You know what I'm saying? Most educated people, well, not even gonna say educated, but most people who are of a certain religion do not read their Bible. And when they actually sit down and read it, not around other people, just by themselves, and just read it, and it's like you're reading it's like reading a Harry Potter book. It's just fantasies left and right. Man walking on water, talking burning bushes, talking snakes. Casper impregnates a woman and she gets pregnant, and the husband's okay with that. It's crazy, man. And it's stuff that contradicts itself. Like, there's a verse in Matthew that says it's pretty much Jesus was born of the Holy Spirit or whatever, right? And then I think it's either in Luke or Leviticus, one of those two. It says that Jesus was born of of Joseph, who was the son of, it starts with a H. And so I mean, I know the Bible was written by 40 different people, after Jesus' death. And let's keep it real. I'm an atheist, but if you have 40 people writing, I guess a book that's supposed to go together, and this book is like 50 years after, the not the criminal case, but like the from the scene of what was taking place. I mean, it's going to be really hard to have a consensus on a lot of stuff. So I give them that. But then again, like, if you read about how Jesus was crucified and how he was born and all this and that, I mean, it really doesn't give a lot of evidence. When people, I think a lot of Christians don't understand that the Romans, the way they crucified people, or the way they executed people, with the crucifixion. So the Romans, who occupied all this, they were an empire. They occupied from Spain all the way to the Middle East. So they, occupied all these lands, and of course, when you're an occupier, you want to have dissidents. And one of the ways you can get rid of dissidents is you execute them publicly to, I guess, have tell them what's what. I mean, it's always bad to inflict harm on other people, but the point of the story is that Jesus, he done, like, but the thing is, that region, or the people, the Jews and Israel or whatever, they were already rebellious against the Romans. So it's like, I mean, there's the actual likelihood of like Romans just crucifying people over there is extremely, it's common. It's not even a likelihood. It's something that happened very commonly, and that right there doesn't really tell us anything. And when and it's like God created the world in 6 days, and he flooded the planet, and there's really no morality in the Bible, or God has no morality, at least that, or Jesus' daddy doesn't have a lot of morality. Because I mean, if you kill all those people, I mean, that's sort of sick, because those are women and children, and he killed them with impunity. He didn't really, I guess he didn't care. And a lot of the stuff in the Bible, when it says that we're born of sin, it's just it's human nature to be like how we are. It says that you shouldn't look at a woman in a certain way. You shouldn't even conceive of doing harm to other people, and this and that. It's just like, that's our nature. If this, I guess, sky god really did create everybody in his image, why would he want to make us imperfect? You know what I'm saying? Why would he want to make us a certain way where it's our fault because of his faulty management? You know what I'm saying? So it's contradictions after contradiction after contradictions. There's no morality in the Bible. Let's just get that straight. Yeah, like, what Jesus did was he went around healing sick people. We don't, and you know what? We don't know that either, because these people who wrote this story, that was his posse. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to say, oh, he probably, you know, um, the person with leprosy, he might have rubbed some leaves on it. Maybe that might have somehow cured him or something. He might have known a little medicinal history, medicinal knowledge. So maybe that could have been the case. But I mean, when you're around your friends, of course they want to make up some good stories. They don't want to. I mean, those days people made up stories, to keep the story going. So, and that's another thing you should look at. And then I don't know. And then when I read it, it's crazy. It's like I'm reading a book that's filled up with like just fairy tales and like magical superpowers, and you know I really think that most people who, because I really do know a lot about the Bible, but I think most people who you see at church chanting and acting all crazy and psychotic or whatever, those are the kind of people who probably haven't read the Bible. There's been polls that been pretty consistent that they ask people of all different, belief systems, atheists to Christians and all that, and it always seems like the atheists know more about the Bible than the Christians do. I mean, they can't answer very basic questions that an atheist can answer, and I mean, I'm not really surprised about that. There's been cases where some Christians come up to me, or former Christians will come up to me and say, I read the Bible and I never read it before. It's just I grew up in a house that everybody was religious and that's what we followed. And when I actually sat down and read it, it was like I can't believe in this stuff. I don't care that people who are gay get married. I don't care about all this. I can't eat pork or not pork, but yeah, it's pork. I can't eat this and that, and it's like a lot of people, they just don't care about some of the stuff in the Bible, and they don't want they don't want to follow a lifestyle like that, because this all religions are man made. The reason we have religion is because it was a way of explanation before we were before the how we are today as a modern society, where we can actually figure out stuff through the scientific method. So that's the reason we have religions, because a lot of people even in those days, they wondered, how did we get here? So they made up stories, or they were just made up stories that were passed down, and people just think they're legitimate because of that. But to me, that's not a reason a story is legitimate or whatever. So I think really reading the Bible will make people atheists, will make people less Christian or whatever you want to call it. So that's my thought on that. Have a nice day. Goodbye.